Art Scavenger Hunt, first grade, week 1. The hunt is on. Essential questions. What is a scavenger hunt? What can I find in my home to use as art materials? What is an art studio and why is it important to me? Vocabulary, imagination, art studio, art supplies, scavenger hunt. Let's get ready to turn on your imagination. Find art supplies to use in your house. Put your art materials in a special art studio space. Go on a scavenger hunt. Make some art.
Hello artists! Welcome to first grade art. My name is Miss Potter and I will be leading you in an art class this week from my little special house. So we have 4 goals today, artists. Our first goal today is to learn about our imaginations. They're one of the most important tools we have as an artist. Our second goal today, number 2, is to go on a scavenger hunt and find art supplies. They're hiding all over your house and we don't even know where yet. And our third goal today is to put your supplies in a very special space, an art studio. We're going to find one in your house. And goal number 4 is to make. So artists, sometimes our spaces are small. I have a small space too, but one area I could use to make artwork is the floor. It's flat. I can sit down and make my lovely, lovely creations. If I'm using messy materials though, I might want to put down a cover, because I bet an adult would get kind of upset if there was marker on the floor. I know they would in my house. Another great spot, my favorite, is the kitchen table. It's nice and flat. I can clean it really easily. And again, if I'm using messy materials, I want to cover my space. I could use a piece of plastic like I did on the floor. I could even use paper towels to put underneath me also. Anything that protects my surface from getting covered is good. Okay, artists, now is my favorite part of the day, and we get to talk about our imaginations. Now I want you to take a good look at me. Do you notice anything different? You're right, I have a silly headband on, but let me explain why. This right here is my imagination coming to life. It's full of colors, it has a couple sparkles, it even has a little butterfly flying away. Your imagination is your idea, and your idea that gets to be creative. Sometimes they're colorful, sometimes they're magical. Your imagination allows you to take something simple, like this piece of paper right here. What shape is it? Good, it's a square. It's a flat, blank square of paper. But with my imagination, I can turn it into something else. I could turn it into a beautiful flower. Or I could take that same paper and turn it into a flying bird. All with my imagination. Your imagination is your most important tool as an artist, and we are going to use it today. So, when we use our imaginations, we need to crank the dial. So find your dial, it should be next to your head somewhere, and you crank it all the way up. You go, okay, do it with me. Okay, good. Is it dialed all the way up? If it's dialed all the way up, you should feel ready for any artistic adventure. Very good, artists. Now that we have our imaginations on, we can start our scavenger hunt. Now, to get ready for this scavenger hunt, you need something to collect your art materials in. I have this reusable bag that I'm going to use. Maybe you have a little basket. Maybe you have a little box. I don't know what you have, but I bet you can find something super cool. So let's get our supply gatherer ready and let's talk about a scavenger. When you go on your scavenger hunt, think about places where you might be able to find art supplies. In my house, one of the first places I thought about was the bookshelf. The bookshelf here has some cool supplies on it. I could find some drawing materials. I have a pen, I can use that. I even have a highlighter. Ooh, I have a couple highlighters. Maybe you don't have regular markers. Highlighters work really, really well too. So I'm gonna put those in my bag. Ooh, I see a couple hidden crayons over here. And even a couple little oil pastels. I think I'm gonna hold on to those. I don't know what those were doing there. Other things I could use. Let's see, artist, will you help me? Look at my bookshelf. What are some things that you think I might be able to use? I heard someone say scissors. Good idea. Now make sure that you're allowed to use these scissors. I would ask an adult first because scissors can be dangerous. And when we hold them, we want to make sure that our blade isn't sticking out. And so we place them carefully in our bag. What else do you see over here? Glue. I think glue is a pretty good catch. If we're gonna cut things or tear things, we're gonna need glue to stick them onto other pieces of paper. Speaking of paper, look over here. I have a lot of different kinds of paper I could use. Maybe your family has Post-it notes everywhere. Post-it notes make for great little squares of art paper. I'm gonna grab onto these. This is my magazine that I get once a month. It's for about pottery and clay. If I wanted to, I could probably cut some of these really cool pictures out and glue them on. I'll take this. I'll ask an adult about this one too, just in case. And I also see this really nice stack of paper over here. I see some colorful papers. Ooh, I even see a little butterfly. I'm gonna hold on to that one. I see some white squares of paper. Maybe you have lined paper at your house. You could probably use some of that to draw on also. Ooh, and here's a sneaky little bucket over here full of goodies. Look what I just found. Haha. I found, what is it? You're right, it's paint and a paintbrush. Oh, if you have paint, that's awesome. If you don't, that's also okay. I'm just gonna put them in my little bag. And I don't know what yet, you guys, but I think I could do something with these. I think we cleared the bookshelf pretty well. Now, let's go to the kitchen. Okay, artists, into the kitchen we go. First things first, we don't want to grab any food because we need that to what? Eat. We eat with food, so we're going to leave that alone. But there are some pretty cool hidden treasures in the kitchen. Now, I don't know about you, but we eat a lot of chili in my family, and they come in these great little containers. You can save these containers and wash them out, and they make for really good water buckets. Watch. What do you think I could use this with? Oh, you're right. My paints. Or I could use this to store some art supplies in, but this container will be really handy, so I'm going to hold on to this. I also see there's some unused chopsticks laying around. I could use this to make a little mouth, or little feet. I bet I could use this for a sculpture. I could probably use it for something else. I'm going to hold on to it. And the only thing in the kitchen that you might be able to use, you'll need to ask an adult, is maybe food coloring. Sometimes you can use these in art projects to give color. If you don't have paint available, this can be very helpful. But again, ask an adult if you want to use this one. I think that's all for the kitchen. And there's one final mystery place I have in mind. Come on. One of the very best spots in your house to find hidden art supplies and treasures is your recycling bin. In your recycling bin, you can find cardboard tubes. These can be really helpful for making awesome sculptures. I'm definitely going to hold on to these. You might even be lucky and find some flat cardboard. You can use this to draw on or paint on. You can cut it, you can bend it. Cardboard is one of your best friend art materials. Let's dig around in here. These little guys, I bet I could take some paint and use these as stamps, like a little circle. I'm gonna hold on to that one too. Ooh, even better. Do you know what this is? You're right, this is what my eggs come in. And what do you think I could do with these little spots right here? Any guesses? Very good. I think these would be a great place to dump my paint. And I can use these to paint out of. I could probably do something else with this too. I'm gonna put it in my bag of goodies. And this right here, artists, this had cornstarch in it. It needs to be cleaned out, but I'm having an idea. And I think I can use this to hold on to some of my art supplies. That way on my table, I can have all of my markers in this little can right here, and they're super easy to find. Plus, I just got this really cool lid, which is a nice circle shape, which I could use to trace, like a stencil. There's a lot of different ways I can use these materials. But now, I think I have enough to make some artwork. So let's go back to our very special studio space and see what we can do. Okay, scavengers, now that you've found all of your amazing art materials, we can take them back to our art studio space. I picked the kitchen table and I dumped out my bag of goodies. I have things that I can glue to make sculptures. I have paper I can draw on. I have paper I can cut and tear, and I have some colors. Whatever you have, take a look at it and double check with an adult to make sure that these are all okay to use. And then once you are, we're gonna start using our imaginations to come up with some excellent art ideas. So I'm gonna get busy working on mine, and I'll see you in just a minute. Hello again. You'll find me in my little art studio space. So artists, I took the materials that I had and I made 2 different art pieces, and I would like to share them with you. The first thing I made is a little collage of myself in a park because I love being outside. And the other thing I made is a little 3D spaceship. And I'm going to use this later to play with my toys, but my paint's still wet. Can you see that it's shiny? If you have paint that's shiny, let it dry. Artists, whatever you make is going to be awesome. And whatever you do, you should share it with someone because art is best when shared with a friend. That's it for this week, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Okay, artists, it's your turn. What are some of the art supplies you might find